That's right. So the first match that we'll have is the Mage vs. Shaman of Trump versus Amaz. Again, it's the best 3. They're only playing 1 deck, so we'll get to see what these guys can do a couple of times. You know, sometimes they'll draw interesting combinations. Right. Maybe it doesn't work out the way they do, but they get to try again. And I'm really curious to see how they're able to weave in the Inspire mechanic. That's really what I'm paying attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, as cards are released more and more in each expansion, of course, you tend to play the game where you play on mana curve, and hero power only becomes like, you know, I have nothing to do, so I will hero power. But now with the mechanic of the cards directly involving your hero power, you'll have an active use of hero power, and the class that you choose, you know,
That's right. Now, what's interesting too about the Inspire mechanics is you already saw one of those interesting cards. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But usually hero powering is a sign of bad news.
Right.
It's like, well, I have to use this because I have no other options, or I lose some of the important tempo of like my momentum coming into the game. But in this scenario, it felt very cool that Blizzard was going to focus on it, especially since some of those cards, they felt like you required some setup, right? You need to play it, you need to be able to get some time to gather, so your strategy can work out over the course of multiple turns, as opposed to trying to make something happen right here, right now.
Exactly. And from what we saw already, the lowly Squire, now we have 2 Squires on 1 mana. The lowly Squire, you can play him on turn 1, and you can use your hero power to basically deal any 2-drop. So it's 7 for a 2-drop, and maybe get a little bit out of control. Oh, we have some new cards here in
We have something called Totem Golem, although I can't see the description. Go ahead and pull it up. The Totem Golem apparently is a 2-mana 3/4 Oh, it counts as a totem. There you go. It's also
the Totem Tribe. Alright, yeah, that's obviously a great 2-drop. I mean, with GG we had a 3-mana 3/4 neutral card, and that really blew people away. Now we have it on 2 mana as Shaman. Shaman just keeps getting just amazingly powerful threats on mana.
Yeah, I think a lot of people often feel like Shaman struggles when they don't have the ability to see the board early, and that's going to be a very key card to handle rush decks. So I think people are excited already is enjoy having the which Inspire summons a 3/5 York. Every time you use a hero power, you get a 3/5.
So this is basically like a card that's a must-kill on the board.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously you want to save it until you can hero power, otherwise it's maybe a bit too vulnerable, so it's kind of like a turn 8 play. It's certainly a win-more card, but maybe you can tempo up with protecting it with some cheap or something like that.
You know what's really great is one thing that I know players are very well known for analyzing cards, maybe getting a little salty. Right now, he always talks about that aren't 9 and 10. Right. You can have cards, Green Patron was one of them. In this case, we'll provide another way for the next to have other cards. Yeah, it's also now that's interesting too, because that's an effective recombobulator.
Yeah, it is a recombobulator effect, but it also triggers kind of like duplicate. So, you know, what can you really expect?
It can happen because with the random minion, you're able to go outside the class, which feels like maybe especially at this point. You have Unstable Portal, you have FG, and now it's like you can pull any card from any deck. It's like,
yeah, cards that work well with Recombobulator are often ones that have a lot of value in their battle cry effect. And in other cases, when they are kind of like giants, when they have cost reduction.
Making it like the 100 hero power.
This card maybe is a little stronger than it seems. And this is one of those things that keep in mind, like, you know, what we're seeing today is you know, just a slice of what the tournament has. It's cards that imagine what you see.
Yeah, because now we have to understand that in this context, things change a lot. We didn't see the 130 cards. as a whole match. It's certainly really interesting to see how not only with the dragon, but also with the late, and now reduce the power to 1 mana.
It skipped Trump's turn.
There's just so many combinations.
There's here. No, that's the. Oh, that is something.
It is. And we actually have tried to opposite now.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're going to see.
This is. Okay, so this is.
It's the Thunder of Fluff. That's right. It's 5 mana, 6 inspire that gives all your moves. And so this gives an opportunity for Shaman to exercise more control. Right, but that's every time you summon.
He got it, he got it. What is that?
Interaction card on. The Tuskar Totemic summons any rated totem card. Whether you're using power or yeah, so it's purchasing like a creature of something hero powers. Yeah, in this case it does, and that's kind of different from any bird there. This is fascinating because now not only am I curious to see the effect of the Tuskar totem, but I'm also seeing what other totems might be coming out of the set here, because that also creates a lot of diversity in the shop. Alright, so I'm hoping he does that, because I want to see some new stuff. There we go. Although it looks like another Kolar Drake. He set up some Kolar Drake, who can combine it with that Fallen Hail and get some really active results. The shop doesn't have any advantage on it.
But it's like weird to see it for the first time.
It's flowing too.
It's like, whoa, now you're running in one den, it's too much.
Mana-side totem, very much the same thing. That's another random totem that can be summoned off of
the Tuskar. That's right. And Tuskar Totem is 3 mana, 3/2, while generally your hero power is often worth, let's say, 1.5 mana. That's kind of good. It's a pretty powerful card.
They gave us some notes on the cards individually. They said that there are 8 different totems you can summon for basic. 0 mana,
With Kolar Drake, he can hero power many times during his next turn. Really the nuts is going to be is if he draws a Maiden of the Lake, making his hero power 1 mana, and then filling his hand with random spells.
It seems like he is confident that you see that cost him
however many times.
Remember, Frost Giant costs 1 less mana for each time.
It's also kind of a fun card. I feel it's one of those guest cards. Like, I wonder how many times he has hero power this turn. I think it's 7. And that's
He told him most first.
I'll get a 5 with this totem for 2 mana. That's a pretty good value, but I have a suspicion that we're not going to make it.
Yeah, I would say it's a high priority.
There's too much tempo on this.
Although, I'm curious, are there additional things to that photo as any stats, any drugs, any effects?
No, I don't think so. We can see that it's the original art, so it's not like a Hungry Coda that eats up Coda's attack minions. It's just strictly a 3/5, but 3/5 does a pretty good job.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to go I suppose right now, even Hearthstone wants to keep it a mystery. No, they don't want to spoil everything just yet. I'm not actually sure. So my anticipation is potentially that the card here is be able to switch. We can split POVs. It's not big POVs.
Oh, it is.
These are just right back. Yeah, definitely have.
Tenenbaum's got one of his own.
And Mage seems to have picked up Wrath, the Druid class, and Fear is that's right. Those are 2 cards that aren't very useful, but Wrath can be pretty versatile.
Right. So Amos can do a Sirach Totem Flight. He can create a totem with the Totemic, but if you play Sirach, definitely want hero power the same turn. A lot of these minions are. I would say that's 1 mana fireball defense. It's a very educational character.
Yes.
You learn a lot about the game.
Oh yeah. The one time you learn about it. Yeah. Probably the last time you learn about it.
Showed it.
All right. Well, we do get to see all the spells that were produced that we didn't see earlier. We have the rat, we have the mirror image, as you mentioned. I just want to see some hero powers fly, really.
I think hero powers leave each other surrounded. That's what I would like to see, because I think
Just to explore what's in the game right now.
I think why wait for the Tolan video in 6 months? Alright, one spell here.
Yeah, not going to play that.
Nasty smell.
Now, remember, the Drake allows you to hero power as much as possible, and thank goodness they finally start keeping track of where those cards originate from, because I would not have seen.
Well, that eye for eye might get out. No, he does go for the pink face. Wow, just in case it's. I think it could have been repentance. Too many crazy spells yet. The dragon circles had quite a bit of fun. Multiple hero powers to turn, both are great. It's also interesting, being a dragon,
There's still a big threat on the board. Remember, you can hero power as much as you want as a mage.
That's right.
If you also made the lane, that means next time you can effectively wipe the board effortless.
well, with Amaz dropping more than 5 health worth of stuff this turn, hero power is not going to deal with it. Trump's going to have to use some of his actual cards.
Candy store, what does Trump want at this point?
I think he wants some more stuff.
What's that one that big soul?
It's a pretty good acquisition.
He really has the big brother of Coca-Cola, the Blizzard, right? And that's smart too. You don't want to get too greedy, because you can overfill the game with spells like hero power.
Yeah, these cards that have a lot of hand play, because it's very difficult to anticipate how to play them in the next few turns. You know, when you're dealing with just your one turn out, it kind of makes sense. But when you want to consider what you do next turn, the turn after that, it allows for some really high level play.
Alright, well, Mom's going to dig deep in his deck. We saw our individual card there that we didn't see from Roger.
That's right.
And that is the drowning Odom card. Just the one of them. So the 4 mana for the battle card, plus 1 for each friendly totem, and there are 8 totems. So that can get quite a big buff. The other ones. So ultimately, this is kind of like Frost with Warlord.
Right.
Yeah, but playing it on 4 is really nice.
Understood. Well, I mean, Ron's might not get a chance to, because there's a lot of damage from the other way. And it looks like he drew his Neptulon at the moment. And Neptulon is really cool because it gives you a lot of cards and refills your hand, but he had no time to do so.
Alright.
Lightning Storm.
Well, that's Lightning Storm.
That's really effective.
I didn't know Lightning Storm was 0 attack.
You know, just the time slot just remember. Chop needs a little bit of help.
We didn't talk about that. But, so what's going on here?
Well, and Big Shaman, what's his name? Big Shaman.
We're coming up.
So he can live that long. Oh, but he did manage to wipe the board though with that legend. With that card advantage. And that's what something like the Sauvage can do. Generate the card advantage in a situation where you're really great. You never know if you draw one removal piece for a big feature, and then you end up having to survive and bring you back to the game.
Yeah, one of the win conditions when you're playing a control deck against anything but a combo deck is just drawing or creating a lot of cards. Because that makes it so you just are very unlikely to win because you haven't answered anything in play.
That can be really useful, the Emperor Thorson for doing something.
Herald Spirit.
I think that card is pretty good. Alright. Well, those are some pretty good Warlocks. Small ones and a Warley. as good as you can hope for.
Do you think if it has such a full hand, that even Coollight Oracle wouldn't be bad? Because sometimes you don't really want Coollight Oracle. You know, there's so many cards though, I feel like you wouldn't be mad.
All through this time, I'm still thinking about that Adventure Secret. You know? I feel it's really strong with some of the cards that are just about possible, not quite enough.
You could use that last one.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Well, what do we have here? It's normally hard to guess when you have like 10 discounted cards to begin with, but then I have 10 discounted cards, including new cards, including priest cards.
Yep.
And some other cards. There's another effigy. And again, the creature on the board is a great target for it.
That's true. It's a 5-mana minion.
It's a 5-mana 3/3, so when it dies, you get an actual minion, and you took advantage of that already, right?
Generally speaking, that might turn into an average of 5 and 5 attack, 5 health.
Yeah, there's always decimals in those, but yeah,
I just rounded up.
yeah.
Alright, well, this is an answer to Neptune on my crossbow. Yeah. I think it's all.
So Neptune goes down, a lot of damage is down now. And the totem goes.
That's right, and that's why it's friendly totems only, otherwise we got buffed by all totems. This game can get pretty out of hand quickly.
That's a great spot for it. What I think Amaz is really looking forward to is, let me try to get the name here. It's that Thunderbolt Valiant. We know there's one left in the deck because I believe Trump thought stole it. So the Inspire effect is to give your totems +2 attack. He's got a lot of silenced totems. This is often a problem when you're trying to play as many minions as you can each turn. Because they just take up dead space.
That's a good point. You know, sometimes the totems can be completely nullified in its impact. Especially like taunt totems, for example. You silence that, you can never get the taunt totem again until it dies. Then we can finally have an opportunity to buff those totems to fight back.
The funniest thing is, Trump now has the Polar Drake, and he also has the Thunderbolt Valiant. He also has a totem build. So if he develops those creatures, he can actually buff his existing totem by 10 attack.
Oh, he gets the taunt totem too. That can be pretty critical to protect his 7/7.
Yeah, looks pretty powerful. I like how a lot of these cards are really powerful in certain situations, but if you compare it to, you know, Warlord, Warlord's a powerful card, but based on the cards, by the way. How about that?
And Amaz is calculating this and potentially the way he can kill his opponent if he starts taking fatigue damage as well.
Interesting. Well, that's probably why that Arcane Intellect stayed in the hand so long.
That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
So what Trump has in his hand is all he has to work with, but it is pretty powerful. Assuming it can work out the way it is. He has that combo of Mage, Lane, and Dragon. You know, the most appealing combo.
It's just that 7/7 is so threatening right now.
Yes. Especially because he has enough weight.
Just because it's such a gamble for Amaz to kill it, but if Amaz does kill it, it still can be a big problem.
Sure. Well, in this scenario, Trump can only take one to this hero power, but the next turn, if the mage survives, might have an opportunity. Yeah. This game's gone so back and forth here. It's exactly what the shaman wants to do. Finding strong cards and exercise the board. Oh, it's missing that really important key card that you were talking about.
Yeah, the buffer totems.
Yes.
If there was...
He's going to try to fight for board by just using the Kodo Rider.
Yeah, it's just a massive throw on the line.
Yes. What's the name of it? Beast One.
Pretty awesome here.
I think Amaz is trying to stall out as long as he can. He knows that if he wasn't dead last turn, nothing new is going to kill him this turn. Yeah, there's no more drops.
He's probably at 7 damage on board. Could he have used like fireballs to kill him? And I believe that Amaz is also familiar with Trump. We didn't want these players to be thrown out in the dark completely.
Right.
Well, I have to play around 700 cards. I'll be familiar with 30.
So the players are far more familiar with the decks than just about everyone else, actually. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Trump was anticipating that Amaz would go the fatigue shaman route, but this is what the game has come to at this point. Now he has to adapt, but I don't know how much he can fight for the board if that keeps spawning heat revive.
No, it's not. His totem gets buffed here, see? Bam! 5 damage. So Trump can stall it as well, but the problem is that he's the one that's taking fatigue speed damage that keeps ramping on up.
So he's the one on the wall.
And the funny thing is, Effigy is particularly awful right now. In fact, you guys do pretty good.
Value towards the second game,
Right. Here comes Maiden of the Lake. Of course, the Maiden of the Lake ability does not stack. It sets your hero power to 1, making it so you don't have an infinite damage combo with the Eldari Drake.
It's a good point, though. The hero power is only 1. It can't be reduced to 0.
Right. Yeah, so far from the cards that we've seen, the only new infinite damage combo is Sorcerer Apprentice, Lock and Load, and get Arcane Shot every single time.
Yep. Arcane Shot.
Right. It can happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to happen sometime.
Off of a Pilot Shredder, it's very realistic.
Yeah.
Because Pilot Shredder can drop that sort of thing. Alright, Steve comes on the board here, and FG almost sure that something will stick onto the board, and I had a hard time finding what the
that does not seem like it can do enough.
certainly not. Considering that he needs buff codes and not draw off of it. And I think a lot of realize what time to draw that. And just take a very nailed way to get here.
Yeah.